have to say, you look as good right now as you did all those years ago. What has happened?
The untold story of Dharmendra's two sons. He was Bollywood's original action hero, the man they called the He-Man of Indian cinema. But behind the legendary Dharmendra's towering success lies a story few have ever heard. A tale of two sons who inherited not just their father's name, but the weight of expectations that could crush mountains. Today, we're diving deep into the untold journey of Sunny and Bobby Deol, two brothers whose paths through stardom, struggle, and redemption will leave you speechless. Picture this: it's 1960, and a young man from Punjab steps off a train in Mumbai with nothing but dreams burning in his chest. Sunny Deol had no idea that within decades he would become the action king of Bollywood. Born in Ludhiana to a schoolteacher father and homemaker mother, his rise from complete obscurity to legendary status reads like a movie script itself. But every empire casts long shadows, and when you're born into the Deol dynasty, those shadows can either lift you up or swallow you whole. Dharmendra's first marriage to Prakash Kaur in 1954 blessed him with 4 children. 2 daughters, Vijeta and Ajita, who chose lives away from the glittering chaos of Bollywood, and 2 sons who would eventually carry the family torch into the next generation. Sunny Deol, born Ajay Singh Deol, arrived first. From his earliest days, it was clear he had inherited something powerful from his father. That same intensity burning behind his eyes, that commanding presence that could fill a room without saying a word. Growing up watching his father transform from romantic hero to action legend, Sunny absorbed every lesson, every nuance of what it meant to be a Deol. Then came Bobby, the younger brother with his own unique charm. Where Sunny carried the weight of being the eldest, Bobby grew up with a different kind of pressure, the expectation to be different, to carve his own identity while still honoring the family legacy. 2 brothers, 2 completely different approaches to the same impossible challenge. The Deol household wasn't just any celebrity family. This was a home where Bollywood royalty walked through the front door for dinner, where scripts were discussed over breakfast, where the line between family life and film industry politics blurred every single day. Imagine growing up in that environment, where your father isn't just dad, he's a national icon, whose every move makes headlines. Dharmendra's journey from earning 51 rupees for his debut film to becoming one of India's most beloved stars created a template his sons would both follow and rebel against. His transformation from romantic hero in the 60s to action powerhouse in the 70s showed them that reinvention wasn't just possible, it was necessary for survival. But here's where the story takes its first dramatic turn. The film industry that welcomed Dharmendra with open arms in the 70s was not the same beast his sons would face decades later. By the time Sunny and Bobby were ready to make their mark, Bollywood had evolved into something far more complex, far more demanding, and infinitely more unforgiving. Sunny's entry into films came with expectations that would have crushed most people before they even began. When you're Dharmendra's son, your debut isn't just another newcomer trying to make it. It's an event. Every critic, every audience member, every industry insider is watching, waiting, comparing. The question wasn't whether Sunny could act, it was whether he could live up to a legacy that had defined an entire generation's understanding of heroism. His early films showed glimpses of the powerhouse he would become, that raw energy, that ability to convey emotion without uttering a single word. But success in Bollywood isn't just about talent, it's about timing, luck, the right scripts, the right directors, and sometimes the right enemies. Sunny learned this the hard way, through projects that promised the world but delivered heartbreak. Meanwhile, Bobby was charting his own course, deliberately choosing a path that would set him apart from both his father and brother. Where Dharmendra was the action king and Sunny was following in those footsteps, Bobby gravitated toward roles that showcased a different kind of masculinity, softer, more romantic, more contemporary. It was a risky strategy that would either establish him as his own man or leave him forever in the shadows of his family's achievements. The brothers' relationship during these early years was complex. layered with the kind of dynamics only siblings in extraordinary circumstances can understand. They were each other's biggest supporters and fiercest competitors. They shared the unique burden of carrying the Deol name while trying to establish their individual identities in an industry that loves to box people into categories. The pressure wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Every success was measured against their father's legendary career. Every failure was magnified tenfold because of who they were. The media scrutinized their every move, their relationships, their choices, their mistakes. Privacy became a luxury they couldn't afford. But perhaps the most challenging aspect of their journey was learning to navigate the changing landscape of Bollywood itself. The industry their father had conquered was built on different rules, different expectations, different definitions of stardom. By the 90s and beyond, audiences wanted more complexity in their heroes. They wanted vulnerability mixed with strength, humor mixed with intensity. Sunny's breakthrough came when he stopped trying to be the next Dharmendra and started being the first Sunny Deol. His performances began showcasing a unique blend of his father's commanding presence with his own interpretation of what heroism looked like for his generation. The intensity was still there, but it was filtered through his own experiences, his own understanding of the world. Bobby's journey took longer to find its footing. The romantic hero path he had chosen was becoming increasingly challenging as Bollywood's definition of romance evolved. Audiences were demanding more realistic portrayals, more relatable characters. The larger-than-life romantic heroes of previous decades were giving way to more grounded, complex leading men. The film industry watched with fascination as these two brothers navigated their careers with completely different strategies. Sunny embraced the action hero legacy while making it his own. Bobby tried to break away from family expectations entirely, with mixed results that would teach him valuable lessons about authenticity and staying true to oneself. What makes their story so compelling isn't just their individual struggles, but how they supported each other through the darkest moments. Behind the public personas, away from the cameras and the interviews, they remained brothers. When one faltered, the other was there. When success came, they celebrated together. When failure struck, they weathered the storm as a family. The untold story of Dharmendra's sons isn't just about two actors trying to make it in Bollywood. It's about legacy, pressure, family bonds, and the price of fame. It's about what happens when you're born into greatness and have to decide whether to embrace it, rebel against it, or forge something entirely new. If you're finding this journey as fascinating as we are, make sure to hit that like button and drop a comment below, sharing your thoughts on the Deol legacy. And don't forget to subscribe because we're just getting started with this incredible story. There's so much more to uncover about how these two brothers would face their greatest challenges and ultimate redemption in ways that would shock the entire film industry. The turning point came when both brothers realized that fighting their legacy was futile. Instead, they needed to embrace it while making it uniquely their own. This revelation would reshape everything about how they approached their careers and their relationship with each other. Sunny's transformation began with a deeper understanding of what audiences truly wanted from him. They didn't need another carbon copy of Dharmendra. They wanted someone who could channel that same raw power but speak to their generation's concerns, their fears, their hopes. His performances started reflecting a more complex masculinity, one that could show vulnerability without sacrificing strength. The breakthrough moment came when Sunny stopped seeing his father's shadow as something to escape and started viewing it as a foundation to build upon. Every legendary actor creates a template, but the truly great ones allow their children to modify that template for their own era. Dharmendra had done exactly that, transitioning from romantic roles to action hero when the industry demanded it. Bobby's journey took a different turn entirely. After years of struggling to distance himself from the family brand, he made a decision that surprised everyone, including himself. He decided to lean into his heritage while finding his own authentic voice within it. The romantic hero persona he had cultivated wasn't wrong. It just needed to be more genuine to who he actually was. What happened next would test both brothers in ways they never anticipated. The film industry began changing rapidly in the late 90s and early 2000s. New actors emerged with different training, different approaches, different connections. The old guard was being challenged, and the Deol brothers found themselves at a crossroads. For Sunny, this meant adapting his intense screen presence to more contemporary storytelling. Directors wanted the power he brought to roles, but they also needed him to work within ensemble casts, to share screen space, to be part of larger narratives rather than carrying entire films on his shoulders. Bobby faced his own set of challenges. The romantic hero market was becoming increasingly crowded with younger actors who brought fresh energy and different sensibilities. He had to decide whether to compete directly with them or find a completely different niche that played to his unique strengths. The pressure during this period was immense. Industry insiders began whispering about whether the Deol legacy was coming to an end. Critics questioned whether either brother had what it took to sustain long-term careers. The media scrutinized every project, every choice, every public appearance for signs of decline or resurgence. But here's what the critics missed. Both Sunny and Bobby had inherited something more valuable than just their father's screen presence. They had absorbed his work ethic, his understanding of audience psychology, and most importantly, his ability to reinvent himself when circumstances demanded it. Sunny began choosing projects that showcased different facets of his personality. He wasn't just the angry young man anymore. He could be the protective father, the conflicted hero, the man struggling with moral dilemmas. His performances gained depth and nuance that surprised critics who had typecast him early in his career. Bobby's evolution was equally fascinating to watch. He started gravitating toward roles that allowed him to explore comedy, drama, and action within the same character. His natural charm, which had sometimes been overshadowed by attempts to fit into predetermined molds, finally found its proper outlet. The brothers' relationship during this transformative period became even stronger. They realized that their individual successes didn't diminish each other. Instead, each victory lifted the entire family brand. They began collaborating more openly, sharing insights about scripts, directors, and industry trends. What emerged was something beautiful and unexpected. Two actors who had spent years trying to either live up to or escape from their father's legacy finally found their own authentic voices. They weren't competing with Dharmendra anymore. They were extending his legacy into new territories he could never have explored. The industry took notice. Directors who had been hesitant to work with star sons suddenly saw the potential in actors who combined proven screen presence with genuine hunger to prove themselves. Projects that had been shelved were dusted off and reimagined with the Deol brothers in mind. But success in Bollywood is never a straight line. Just when things seemed to be falling into place, both brothers would face their most significant challenges yet. Personal struggles, professional setbacks, and family complications that would test every lesson they had learned about resilience, brotherhood, and staying true to themselves. The entertainment media loves comeback stories, but they love downfall narratives even more. Both Sunny and Bobby would discover that fame's greatest test isn't how you handle success, it's how you respond when everything seems to be falling apart. The choices they made during their darkest moments would ultimately define not just their careers, but their characters as men. If you're as captivated by this incredible journey as we are, show some love by hitting that like button. Drop a comment below and let us know which Deol brothers story resonates more with you. And don't forget to subscribe because what comes next in this saga will absolutely blow your mind. The redemption, the comebacks, and the surprising ways both brothers would ultimately triumph over every obstacle in their path. Trust us, you won't want to miss what happens next in this remarkable tale of legacy, brotherhood, and the true meaning of resilience. The late 90s brought a harsh reality check that would forever change how both brothers viewed their place in the industry. Sunny found himself caught between two worlds. The action films that had built his reputation were evolving into something more sophisticated, demanding emotional range he wasn't sure he possessed. Meanwhile, Bobby watched as a new generation of romantic leads captured audiences with approaches that felt completely foreign to everything he'd learned. The whispers grew louder in industry circles. Had the Deol magic finally run its course? Were these sons of a legend destined to become footnotes in Bollywood history? The The pressure wasn't just professional anymore, it was existential. Every morning brought fresh doubt about whether they belonged in the same industry their father had helped build. Sunny's response to this crisis revealed something profound about his character. Instead of retreating or becoming bitter, he dove deeper into understanding his craft. He began working with acting coaches, studying method techniques, exploring the psychological depths of characters rather than just their surface intensity. The angry young man persona that had defined him started evolving into something more complex and ultimately more powerful. Bobby's journey through this difficult period took an entirely different path. He made a decision that shocked everyone, including his own family. He temporarily stepped away from leading man roles and began accepting character parts that challenged him in ways he'd never experienced, supporting roles in ensemble films, negative characters that required him to shed every trace of his romantic hero image. This period of reinvention wasn't just about career strategy. Both brothers were discovering who they really were beneath the expectations, the comparisons, and the constant scrutiny. They were learning that authentic success couldn't be inherited or imitated. It had to be earned through genuine growth and honest self-reflection. The breakthrough came when they stopped competing with their father's legacy and started honoring it in their own unique ways. Sunny realized that his intensity could serve stories about real people facing real struggles. Bobby discovered that his natural warmth and humor could bring depth to characters that went far beyond traditional romantic leads. Today, Sunny and Bobby Deol stand as testament to what happens when talent meets resilience, when brothers choose support over rivalry, and when sons find the courage to honor their father's legacy while writing their own chapters. Their story proves that greatness isn't inherited. It's earned through every setback survived, every doubt conquered, and every moment they chose to keep fighting when the world counted them out. The Deol dynasty didn't end with Dharmendra. It evolved through two sons who transformed pressure into purpose and expectations into excellence. If this journey moved you, smash that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments below about which brother's path inspired you most. And subscribe for more untold stories from Bollywood's most fascinating families.